All right, friends, it's T-Men. We are back with a new video on a new lifter. I just this popped up in the feed. This I guess this bodybuilder guy, whatever, this lifting gym slave. I don't know what you would call him, a gym lifting slave. That's what I call him. That's what I call them. You know me. You know my channel, man. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna do a reaction video to his video. Yeah, I'm quite interested in it. His name is, I think it's Matt Irving. Matt Irving. So Matt Irving says, how to build muscle without bulking. That's interesting. Okay. How do you build muscle without bulking? Well, we all know that bulking doesn't build muscles. You need nuclei to synthesize protein to support further muscle growth of that myonuclear domain. Unfortunately, he probably doesn't understand any of these things. He doesn't even understand muscle damage or how muscles are damaged, why a unique feature of untrained muscles, they are stiff and sore the next day due to damage, or why unaccustomed bouts of exercise cause muscle damage or unfamiliar forms. And the weakness and the malperformance can last 2 to 3 weeks. Oh yeah, can last a long time. But he doesn't understand any of those things. Yes. He doesn't understand that to wake up the progenitor cell, which is a quiescent, and knowing that these nuclei, these myonuclei, they're post-mitotic. They do not split, divide, increase in number, just waving your arms around or lifting weights in the gym. They have to be specifically damaged, and that domain, it only happens once in an adaptation. It only happens once in an adaptation. Untrained first training satellite cell fusion, hypertrophy, and then it reaches a myonuclear domain size limit. It reaches a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process beyond where the satellite cell can donate any more extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth. But I'd love to hear his take on how he's going to build muscle without bulking when bulking doesn't build muscle. And okay, that we know. And I want to know how he's going to build muscle without doing something fake to build fake muscles or whatever the hell he's talking about here.
Let's talk about how
He looks okay. He's got a nice little physique going on there. Sure, he's a young guy.
to gain muscle without bulking over the past 4 years.
Yes, how do you gain muscle without faking it? Called fake bulking, which is fake. That's not how you get over myonuclear domain size limit. But anyways, so over here he's kind of really skinny at 15.5 inches, and here's at 18 inches. Well, we're gonna find out how he did it, and I bet you he did it on a fake diet. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, artificial muscle growth.
I've grown my arms from 15.5 inches up to 18 inches,
Sure.
maintaining pretty much the same body fat percentage. The past year and 3 months,
Maintain the same body fat percentage? No, he's fat here on the right. He's really fat here on the right. He's fat. That's all he ever did was get fat. I try to explain this to people. The muscles are retaining glycogen. For every gram of glycogen, listen, muscles we know that protein synthesis needs to exceed this breakdown when muscles are damaged in an adaptation in order to see that hypertrophy. Okay. Now, he's not getting damaged, okay, on the right here. He's bulking, or he bulked or something. So he's lying. Here you can see him, he's really lean. He's at 185, which is not uncommon. 15 inches, arms, whatever. So he reached the myonuclear domain, right here on the left side. This is myonuclear domain limit. Now on the right side, he's trying to bypass it by doing something fake. So he's at 210, he says 215 pounds. So he upped the poundage, but you could see he's carrying substantial amount of glycogen in his muscle. For every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water drawn between skin and muscle into the muscle, and he's fat. So he's really just fat. Okay.
I went from 185 up to 210, 215-ish. Some of that was fat, a lot of it was muscle. Overall,
Some of it was fat, a lot of it was muscle. No, he didn't gain any muscle. He's still 185. He's just 210, 215 fat with glycogen.
philosophy around diet and nutrition has never involved bulking. It's more of a main gaining type of philosophy, which I'm going to get into.
Again, that's something Greg Doucette says, main gaining, which is considered fake. We all know this is fake. The real masters in the real world. If you're looking in the real world to build muscle, we know it's fake. It's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It's type of artificial muscle growth. This is just fake and fat. He's fat and is sarcoplasmic.
But first, the inspiration
It isn't based on myofibrillar growth.
for this video comes from a question
Okay.
by Daniel Clinton 5193. Shout out to you, my brother Matt.
He has a substantially large following at 24,000. Now, if I hadn't lost my original channel, maybe I would have been at 6, maybe more, maybe 10, because I really pushed it. But because I keep losing my channels, copyright, this, that, whatever, I'm never going to make it up there. But anyways, maybe he'll see this video. Who knows? I'll direct it towards him. Maybe he'll take a look at it. Or maybe he'll be like everybody else and go, eh.
Can you do a video on diet? Gaining inches on your arms naturally without getting fat is impressive. Thank you, dude. Also, you look...
That question, guy, that was smart. Yeah, without getting fat, dude. Gaining glycogen, gaining sarcoplasmic artificial muscle growth. Can you do it? Actually building? No. Because you have to damage muscles. And when they do get damaged, he probably doesn't understand this. Once they do get damaged, they repair and remodel stronger, right? So now they're resilient from further assaults. But the moment they do get damaged, there's something called the repeated bout effect phenomenon. It protects muscle from a repeated bout of any more damage. That's to protect you from rhabdo, a disease called rhabdo. Now, once the week is over and they've repaired and remodeled stronger, they are resilient from further assaults. And then there's follistatin, myostatin, and satellite cell. There's so many hurdles you need to get over to get this, to push this domain. So you've maxed out that domain. It happens right away. So you would not be wrong when you say, I reached a newbie gain limit, genetic limit, and I'm a hard gainer. Yeah, you actually reached a myonuclear domain size limit beyond where the satellite cell can donate anywhere extranuclear to that domain to support further muscle growth. Okay.
like a Jack Dexter Morgan, where are the bodies? Okay. I cannot tell you that, otherwise I'd have to kill you, and you seem like a nice fella, Daniel Morgan, so let's leave that as a secret for now.
He's just wasting his time because he doesn't understand how to bring back this damage. Nobody's damaging. You can say, hey, I'm lifting weights, I'm damaging muscles. Yeah, okay. And so what? Just because you say something doesn't mean that's what's happening. You actually have to damage it. You have to be in that state where you're compromised. If muscles are damaged, they're compromised. Everything is compromised in that stage. And then you need to go through a repairing and remodeling.
My philosophy, my approach to diet and nutrition is simply to not count calories, to not obsess over protein. I don't track any of it.
Again, calories don't build muscles. Protein builds muscles. When they exceed that breakdown in an adaptation. Without that adaptation, there is zero muscle growth without an adaptation.
I focus on eating healthy, whole foods.
An adaptation means protective effect. It's protecting you from something. That's what an adaptation means. You did something vigorous which caused damage, and now it needs to protect itself from any more damage. By doing what? Repairing, remodeling stronger. That's how it works. Now, how does your body protect you from something called diabetes? That's an adaptation too. That's not a disease. What is that? Well, your body shut down the insulin. It's not producing insulin to remove the sugar anymore. So every time you try to eat sugar, you're going to feel kind of sick because your body is stopping you from eating any more sugar, drugs. It's like cancer. Cancer is an adaptation too. You've poisoned your body with these poisonous foods, and then cancer comes out as an adaptation. It adapts because it needs to keep you living a little bit longer to procreate and produce some DNA and die. Get it? Now, if you stop doing those things, if you stop poisoning your body, the cancer goes away. But if you keep poisoning it with these toxic plants and foods and arsenic and cyanide and everything and nuts and peanuts and whatever else you're fucking eating there, well, what did you expect, right? Hello.
A slight emphasis on protein here and there, and that's it. What am I eating?
A slight emphasis on protein. Well, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown in an adaptation. So whether you eat protein or not, you're not, that domain has ended. So it doesn't really matter. You're just getting protein turnover. You're just inflaming your you're inflaming your muscles. You understand? You're stressing your muscles. They're inflammation. They're inflammaging. You're inflammaging, aging. By every time you go to the gym, you're inflammaging, and you're walking around with inflamed muscles, pretending that you have muscles and whatever else. And then you're getting fat in the bulk diet.
Trail mix, lots of nuts, healthy whole fats in there, avocados.
Trail mix, healthy fats. Trail mix, these nuts and everything, they're filled with cyanide. They're filled with cyanide.
As well, a lot of fruit.
A lot of fruit has fructose in it. So there's a new study, gives you fucking brain damage. Fructose gives it's associated with brain damage. It's also associated with mitochondrial dysfunctioning eventually down the line, and DNA damage, and a whole bunch of wide array of nasty things to come.
Yogurt, eggs, meats, very.
Eggs are okay. I don't like to eat a lot of eggs. I don't find that's a hunter's diet, but meat is animal. Blood, organs, and meat, yes. I try to eat as raw as possible now, everything. The rawer you can get it, the more you can get away from all these bad things that are produced. And you'd want to wash your meat because the nitrates, they put plant toxins called nitrates on your meats and everything. And processed meats are the worst. They're filled with it. They're already inside there. You're eating it. It's going to kill your stem cells. They destroy your stem cells. They've done studies on it. They show it. They show it in these graphs. They're smearing across the screen, man.
Different meats, chicken, ham, steaks, ground beef.
So eating those toxic processed meats and things and foods, whatever, with nitrates, plant fake nitrates or whatever you want to call it, are toxins, poisons, and you lifting will just accelerate more aging and damage in your body, DNA damage, accelerate aging.
Bread, potatoes, yam.
Again, bread, slave food, prisoner and slave food bread. Bread is the worst that you can. Bread is so bad. It's grains. They shrink your brain. They prevent growth, man. Then they convert to sugar, making you insulin resistant. And if you're insulin resistant, you can't get nutrients into the cell, whether you eat protein or not. So meat is just really high in nutrients. It's just vitamins and minerals. That's all it really is. And protein. And that's it.
All kinds of different vegetables, broccoli, asparagus.
Yes, vegetables, broccoli, sarforaphane. It's toxic, man. These toxic, they're flowers. They're all toxic, man. It's ridiculous. They got oxalates in them, lectins, polyphenols are all toxic.
Whatever. There's nothing specifically beneficial, I don't think, about any of these.
Yeah, you want to build your muscles with toxic. Yeah, exactly. You want to build your muscles with toxic fruits and vegetables. Yes. Great. Yes. Okay.
These foods. I'm not really subscribing to that.
They're not foods. They're not meant for human consumption. They just sell them because they want to steal your slave money, dude. That's why they make you go to the slave store. They never forced you to eat that food. They have counters with meat on it for normal people, but then they catch your attention because you're like, well, I should eat these foods because maybe they're oh, no, because they've convinced you it's healthy. Okay, name me one thing that's healthy about these foods, bro, dude. Name me. Come on, name something. The arsenic, the cyanide, or the oxalates or lectins? Which one? Polyphenols? Which one are healthy for you?
Some superfood maximum concoction that's going to...
Yeah. Superfood maximum concoction. The superfood out there is meat. It's anti-aging. It's everything. Meat. It's not deficient in any nutrients. Plants are deficient. They're not bioavailable. There's a whole wide array of problems with that food, dude.
Optimize your body and put jet fuel into your veins and make you into the next Ronnie Coleman. My personal experience, what I've seen.
You're not going to become Ronnie Coleman. You could eat a lot of potatoes and start lifting weights. You can gain more of the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. I'll tell you how to do it. It's really easy. Work out once a week, full body, lower body, and just eat lots of potatoes the rest of the week, and then come back and do it again. Now, you'll be able to load more of that glycogen in the muscle. There's a window now for glycogen synthesis because you've been lifting. You're an endurance athlete now, lifting in the gym. So just come in and lift again, do that, and keep eating the potatoes the rest of the week, and I guarantee you're going to get a shitload of weight. Your muscles are going to look massive, bro, massive. And potatoes, they don't really get you fat, dude. That's the thing about them, because they don't spike insulin, so they don't get you fat. So if you just eat some meat so you're not too hungry, get some nutrients, and eat loads and loads of potatoes, bags full of potatoes, and I guarantee you'll keep the fat at bay, and your muscles will blow up like Ronnie Coleman. Like, I mean massive, dude. Just eat bowls of potatoes all day. And you can eat some meat if you need it. You don't really need the meat, because you're not really building any muscle. You're building sarcoplasmic artificial muscle growth.
Experimenting. I used to be a crazy freaking person at 18, consuming all kinds of calories and obsessing over protein and making myself sick eating chicken breasts. And then eventually I switched to this method and I noticed no difference.
Yeah, chicken, you notice no difference. Of course not, because you reach the myonuclear domain limit. Chicken is putrid, man. Don't eat chicken.
So, what I want to propose to you is to open your mind to the possibility that you don't need to bulk and that it may actually impede your progress to a degree because...
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to bulk eating all these like processed foods and fake foods and sugar and everything to try to get phony muscles. You can eat potatoes, and potatoes, they don't make you fat. They don't spike insulin. They're slow acting. They're slow absorbing. So eat meat and eat a lot of potatoes so you can so that glycogen can exceed that breakdown. Yeah, because you're an endurance athlete now.
You're less healthy. I think, from my personal experience, that you're going to stimulate your growth from your training. And your nutrition.
No, you're not going to stimulate any growth from your training. You're not going to stimulate anything there. You already reached your domain limit of growth.
And your recovery, your sleep and rest support that growth.
Unless you do something that an unaccustomed bout of exercise, you're not going to see any more growth. Sorry, dude.
They don't stimulate it. That's the way.
What stimulates growth? Do you think a weight stimulates it? They're myonuclei, they're postmitotic. They don't split, divide, and increase in number, dude. Just because you are stimulating it with weights, lifting in the gym, adapted.
I'm thinking about it. That's the way I've gone about it
yeah.
in the recent several years to add muscle to my frame. Not that that's the only way to do it. There's nothing wrong with bulking if you want to bulk.
Okay.
As you can see from this video, does excessive bulking lead to more?
Again, bulking, eating, getting fat, bulking lead to gaining muscle. Getting fat lead to gaining muscle? How does getting fat lead to gaining muscle? Doesn't make any sense.
Muscle gain.
You can't force feed muscle growth.
A study that Jeff has referenced.
You can't force feed muscle growth? Yeah, no, of course not. You can't.
Had 11 male bodybuilders split up into two groups following the exact same training routine. One group consuming a dump truck load of calories, the other doing a moderate bulk. The results showed that
Again, calories don't build muscles. Protein does in an adaptation. But without the adaptation, there's no growth there.
Group eating everything in sight saw 2.5 times more muscle gain than the moderate bulking group.
No, they didn't. They saw 2 times more fake artificial muscle growth eating an artificial diet, eating artificial food, creating artificial sarcoplasmic muscles.
However, they also saw 9 times the increase in body fat percentage. My conclusion is different than Jeff's. I think this shows that excessive bulking leads to significantly more muscle gain.
Impossible. That's impossible. You need protein and you need nuclei. They synthesize protein. They reach the domain limit. They reach the ceiling limit. It's beyond where the satellite cell can donate any more extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth. When you first came into the gym, you were untrained. That's what a unique feature of untrained muscles is that they get stiff and sore the next day due to muscle damage, and then they go through a repair and a remodeling. The repeated bout effect kicks in. There's no more damage because now it's protecting itself, hiding type 1, protecting you from rhabdo if you come back and lift again in the gym with a repeated bout. And then they go through a repair and a remodeling that whole week. And then by the end of the week, they're repaired and remodeled. That's it, basically. See what I mean? But you're not going to want to come in and lift anymore because you're going to have severe DOMS. It's going to last for 4 days, painful restriction, movement, weakness, and a bunch of stuff. And then you'll adapt. But how will you adapt? By protecting you from any more damage. That's what muscles do. They protect from any more damage. Do you understand me? That's why they repair and they remodel. So they're resilient from further assaults. Like it says in eccentric exercises, they talk about it in PubMed.
However, it comes at a cost. You're going to gain a crap ton more body fat. It's up to you to decide if it's worth it. Hey, you want to hire me as your coach? Click the link in my bio. Probably gain a little.
Wow, now he wants you to hire him as his coach to get fat too, like him. Okay. I guess I'm not a coach. I don't know anything, right? Yeah, okay.
Extra muscle, but you're going to have to gain proportionally way more fat. And then you're going to have to cut down and go into a significant deficit, in which period you're probably not going to be as productive at building muscle. Nets you out maybe in the same position. I don't really know. But I'm going to propose something different to you. And I think if you just focus on eating healthy whole foods, doesn't really matter exactly what you eat. Find foods that you like, that work with your body, that don't cause inflammation. Carbs, proteins, fats, and then micronutrients.
Think about it. Why do they cause inflammation, these fake foods? Because they're toxic. They're poisonous. Hello? They're poisoning you slowly. That's what they're doing. If you eat handfuls of them, you can possibly die. Like these almonds, they're filled with cyanide. If you eat enough of them and you bite them, cyanide's released. You could kill you. Even the arsenic in rice and a bunch of other stuff.
Nutrients from fruits and vegetables, maybe a protein powder once in a while.
Fruits and vegetables. What hunter would stop and pick up a fruits and a vegetables in a forest? This planet only has forests. Oh, I forgot. They're only grown on farms. They're engineered, man-made fruits and vegetables on fake farms that man created. They don't exist in nature. Okay.
while. And that's it, man. I don't think it needs to be any more complicated than that. And then redirect all of your energy into your training, because I think you stimulate muscle growth through your training. And if you have
No, you'll stimulate muscle growth through your training, but it'll be sarcoplasmic muscle growth. It won't be myofibrillar.
an issue with your diet and you eat horribly all the time,
Yeah.
and you go, 24 hours without.
Again, that's meaningless. It doesn't matter what you eat, horrible diet or anything. You still need more nuclei to support further muscle growth, and it's not donating. The satellite cell's not donating.
Eating any food, and you did a
So what do you need to do to get it to donate extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth? Well, unaccustomed bout of exercise is known to cause widespread muscle damage. Again, but if you do something you're unaccustomed to in the gym, I'm not talking about swimming or running or doing something that you've not done before. You're untrained doing those things. It's very specific. Will you get a donation of these nuclei? It's something that you need to find out.
intense workout the next day, maybe that would impede your recovery and your body's ability to build muscle. But as long
Impede your recovery. You're endurance athlete now. You're recovering. That long distance runners, they recover. Us bodybuilders, we grow. We don't recover. Real bodybuilders. I don't know about you fake ones out there like this dude.
as you're eating reasonably well, healthy whole foods, having
What are healthy whole foods? Whole foods are meat, are animal products. Those are healthy. But they didn't work for him. I try to explain to all you guys. He ate protein. See what I mean? And so he was lifting, and he found that he wasn't building muscle. Want to know why? Because he reached a myonuclear domain size limit. So what did he need? So what did he do? In his head, he thought, well, I should bulk. I should get fat, and that will make me build muscle. How could getting fat build? What is that? What is that? A fat? That doesn't even sound like muscle. Fat, muscle, fat. If you want to build muscle, build muscle. If you want to get fat, dude.
a couple meals a day, finding something that works that you can stick with,
Yeah, okay.
and getting a reasonable sleep every night, 6 to
Sure, reasonable sleep is going to get me over my myonuclear domain size limit. Sure.
8 hours, whatever. The thing that's going to spark the
whatever.
growth, and for me, the things that have led to the growth I've seen over.
I love these channels. I run into so many of these channels. I've seen this 13-year-old kid right now. Remember, I posted him in my community section, the 13-year-old kid, the English kid. He wasted his whole summer lifting. He didn't gain 1 pound of muscle. Look at him. His whole summer, he wasted lifting as a slave in the gym. Now, I could have explained to him how to get over myonuclear domain size limit because he's young. He's young. He's got potential for growth to get over myonuclear domain size limit. But why should I share that with him? I made a video, I directed it to him, but never paid attention to it. Want to know why? Because these people are stubborn. And I just love them failing. I love channels like this. I make videos like this because I'm showing you how people fail and they're stubborn. I love failing. I laugh at these people. You understand me? I don't really care about them. They don't care about my channel, I care about them. I only care about the people on my channel that are viewing me and watching my videos because they're more interested in understanding and learning. They have an open mind. But even some of them on my channel, a lot of the people that follow me, they don't have an open mind. They don't understand anything. They're really stupid, some of them. They write me dumb comments. It's really dumb inside. The comments are really dumb. I'm not fucking joking, bro. They write me some stuff that's so stupid, it's ridiculous. It's off the charts. And they may even write me like a story, a whole book, a storybook, and I'll just I won't read it. I'm not going to read that because it doesn't make any sense. You never watch the video. You have to watch my video to understand what I'm telling you, the message. And usually, you know me, I usually post these things, the studies in them. I'm not doing it in this one. I just simply am running it off the study. If he wants, he can go check it out.
The past year, or the past several years, has been training changes. Finding ways to be more consistent, never miss workouts, up the intensity, train harder, find ways to progress my training, and try different things, experiment, try different tempos, scale the weight, change the rep ranges, add more sets.
No, you don't have to do any of those things. Science already explains to you how to overcome myonuclear domain size limit. They tell you unaccustomed bout of exercise is known to cause widespread muscle damage. They don't say trained. They say unaccustomed. They don't say accustomed bouts of exercise. They say unaccustomed bout. Now, if you don't understand, it's too bad. They say unfamiliar forms, unaccustomed, and untrained muscles get this damage. Now, if you don't understand that, it's too bad.
Train more often. How can I make my process with training more intense? How can I make that cocktail that I'm consuming stimulate muscle growth. It's not a great analogy, but you get the point. That's the way I think about it, and that's what I've done to see progress. So there's nothing
Look, man, I'm an EIMD training channel. I train for I train for muscle damage. I don't train because I want to stimulate or do weird things and create phony muscles and phony strength or whatever the heck these guys doing.
really have much to say. You know, I kind of
His training isn't based on EIMD training. It's really simple.
listed off generally some foods that I like to eat, but you don't have to eat those foods, man. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, eggs, meat.
Yeah, what are those fake foods going to do? You're mixing it up with the natural foods. So mix unnatural with natural. So what? To be they're anti-nutrient, bro. Get it? Jesus.
Carbohydrates. Try to eat reasonably clean. Doesn't need to be perfect.
Carbs are drugs. All plants are drugs, and all drugs are made from plants. Carbohydrates, sugar is a drug, dude. It's the most addictive drug that's out there on the planet.
And avoid foods that, you know, flare up your gut or cause inflammation or that you don't seem to do well with. Find
Yeah, why are those foods causing that? Think about it. Oh, you shouldn't eat these foods that are inflaming your gut and causing inflammation. I want to know why? Because they're poisonous. Hello? Meat doesn't cause that. Neither does seafood. Doesn't cause your gut to inflame. Why is that? Because there isn't any toxins or drugs in there called sugar that your stomach hates. But you don't listen, people like you don't listen to your instincts. You don't want to listen to your instincts, okay? You've reached a myonuclear domain. So your instinct is like, well, I reached a genetic limit, I reached a newbie gain limit, and I'm a hard gainer. Bam, your instincts would not be wrong. You reached a myonuclear domain limit. Then you're like, hey man, I have inflammation, bloating in my stomach and all that. What do you think's causing that? The fake food. If it's not happening on a natural whole food diet called animal products, but it's happening eating these fake foods. Hello?
things that do work for you, and I think it's really simple as that. And I think the end benefit of being healthier also allows you to recover.
Okay, what's the benefit of being healthier? Want to know what it is to be healthy? Don't exercise. Don't do any lifting. Do not stress your body. That's unhealthy to stress your body. Doing those things. I didn't say you shouldn't get an adaptation. You can get it once in a while here and there, an adaptation, you know, something, I don't know, periodically or whatever you want to do. Play some sports or something. Yeah, you could do some stuff. Be aware that this will accelerate aging. It's stressing you, so it's unhealthy. And eating foods that stress your stomach, cause inflammation, that stresses you, that's unhealthy. So all these things you're doing are unhealthy. Now, eating whole food meat products, animal products, are healthy. Doing less of these stressful things that you're doing, these exercise and everything, you'll be healthy if you don't do it. But if you do them, you're unhealthy.
Better, because your body's not dealing with processing all this junk. Yeah, maybe you go on a dirty bulk and
Processing all this junk, it can't. It'll ferment like alcohol in your stomach. These foods that you're eating, these fake plant foods, they ferment in your stomach, and then you're farting, you've got gas, and you're farting and bloating, and you're shitting like crazy because you can't digest them. That's why you shit a lot. Now, if you eat lots and lots of meat and seafood, you don't shit a lot, you pee a lot, because your hydrochloric acid can actually dissolve protein, but it can't dissolve fiber because it's non-digestible. They make rope out of fiber, dude. Hello?
you get this caloric surplus going, and to some degree that probably is going to contribute to a little bit more muscle growth. But
again, caloric deficit. No, it's not. Listen, I've actually eaten myself skinny. You can eat yourself skinny, like losing fat. Like if you, let's say you had some fat on your body because you ate some fake diets. Well, I literally could eat 6 pounds of meat a day and all that weight will just go away. And I didn't have to starve myself or be in a caloric deficit to lose any of that weight. You understand me? And destroy my health at the same time. I want to make my health better. I want to increase it. I want to be stronger. I don't want an apoptosis. I want to be in a positive nitrogen balance, which is associated with positive protein is associated with positive nitrogen balance when you're in an anabolic growth state. And so it's associated with repair and growth. And so when you eat more meat, it'll put you back in something called homeostasis. Get it? Your natural bodily form. Your face will look muscular. Your jaw will come out. Your teeth will be healthier. Your bones, your muscle, your body, you'll be undomesticated. But you're domesticating yourself. Eating plant foods. That's how we domesticate pigs. From boars into pigs. And these cows. From bulls into cows and everything. We feed them unnatural foods. You get it? Now we have cows, they're definitely eating grass, but we're feeding them other grains and things, and it's domesticating them. And the pig too, we're feeding them unnatural foods, and it's domesticating them. Just like you'll domesticate yourself eating slave diets.
Your body has to deal with processing all this crap that you're putting in your body, and I would argue maybe it's not actually going to make you look better. Maybe it's not actually going to lead to that much more muscle gain.
It's not.
And part of the reason that
It's not.
think most of you or most people are under this paradigm that I need to bulk and then cut, and I can't build muscle unless I go on a bulk, is because a lot of the information, knowledge, and popular opinion comes from the most popular sources of bodybuilding. Who would that be? Championship level best bodybuilders in the world. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, he's going to bring up steroid people, fake bodybuilders on drugs. Okay.
Ronnie Coleman. Nowadays, Chris
Sure, Ronnie Coleman, drugs. Listen, bro, if you want to look like Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chris Bumstead, then you need to inject what they're doing in their butt. Like, you need to take what they're taking. And then you'll look like them. If that's your goal, if that's what you want to look like. I personally don't want to look like them. But if you want to look like them, artificial, take their drugs. But remember, it's fake, it's artificial. It'll only work while you take the drugs, okay?
Instead, okay, these dudes get down to ridiculously lean levels to get onto stage. They're at 4, 5, 6, 7% body fat, something like that, I think. Like no appearance of fat on their frame. Then in their
Again, they're on drugs. You're not doing that, dude. It's fake. It's fake. You just don't understand it.
off season, they go on a bulk, where they get up to a level that they are at a, leanness level that most of us would be pretty happy with and feeling pretty ripped. They soften up a little. They don't look like freak aliens that, are going to, you get them with a paper cut and they're going to bleed out. They just sort of look like normal, at least from a body fat percentage. They don't really look normal. They're absurd. They're holding on to ridiculous amounts of muscle, but their body fat percentages are 10% up to 15% for the majority of these bodybuilders.
It's being suppressed artificially, dude, with the drug, okay? It's doing specific things. It thinks the body's starving when you inject these hormones. Just like in intermittent fasting, when people starve themselves, their testosterone growth hormone go through the roof. But it has nothing to do with muscle growth when you're fasting yourself. It has everything to do to preserve life. That's it, because it thinks you're dying. You're stressing your body, accelerate aging.
And so the point that I'm making,
There's a new study that just came out. 91% of people fasting are dying. 91%, they're dead. There's influencers dying left and right. I put in my community section. I posted them there. There's some videos. Check them out. Yeah, dude, you probably don't understand it, but okay.
is that then it gets blown out of proportion when the average lifter, who's already 15% body fat, goes, oh, I need to bulk to gain muscle. No, not necessarily, man. If you stay in a maintenance...
Again, it's based on an adaptation process. You've adapted. There's no more growth. Get it, dude?
or go on a tiny surplus, that's going to be more than enough if your training is adequate. If these bodybuilders are 5%...
And muscles can only ever get damaged in an adaptation, and when they do, they need to go through a repair and a remodeling. And not until then will they ever damage again. And even if they do damage, you may not have exceeded a certain threshold. I can't explain it to you, but whatever. Not in this video.
Body fat, yeah, you're probably in a depleted state. It's a very extreme scenario where you're not going to be able to add muscle mass because there's almost no fat on your body at all. So they're going to need to up their calories on going some type of bulk caloric surplus scenario to get back up to a normal-ish healthy level so that they can...
Normal-ish healthy level? They're not healthy. Nothing about what you're doing is healthy. It's, if anything, it's all unhealthy. What are you talking about?
Actually add muscle mass, but I think any of the footage I've seen of bodybuilders in their off season, they still look pretty lean. And again, not that bodybuilders who are taking tons of gear should be the benchmark of information for people that are remaining natural, but I just think it's a good example to illustrate to you why I think a lot of people are under the premise that you need to bulk to gain muscle. I think for the average...
Yeah, why are you under the premise that you need to bulk to gain muscle? It's based on an adaptation principle. What are you talking about?
Average person, what's going on for these bodybuilders doesn't necessarily apply. And for the average natural lifter, my trajectory with training, I've just kind of adhered to the main gaining approach, where I'm not purposely going on excessive bulks to gain additional large amounts of fat to try to gain muscle. And I've been able to spark additional.
And how does fat build muscle exactly? Could you please explain that to me? Look, if you need nuclei and they synthesize protein, they don't synthesize fat, bro. Get it? These myonuclei, your fibers are highly myonucleated. It's called it's a domain. It's a nuclear domain. It's highly regulated by follistatin, myostatin, and the satellite cell. But when the satellite cell is activated, they cannot occupy the same space with follistatin, myostatin. So it overrides that. But here's the thing. These nuclei are postmitotic, and they don't synthesize fat into muscle, bro. They synthesize protein. But if you don't have enough of them, they will not synthesize any more protein. You need more of them.
Muscle gain to fairly solid levels.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm going to finish with is I'm going on a cut because, as you can see, the 215 build, there's definitely.
Here's the thing: when you go on this low caloric cut that he's doing, he's going on a low calorie cut. He's not. Look, you don't have to, man. You don't have to go on a reduced calorie diet to cut. You can just literally eat lots of meat and seafood and you'll get cut. You understand me? Without losing any of your muscle, but he's going to lose muscle. He's just wasting his time. It'll become apoptotic. The muscle will lose these nuclei. They'll become apoptotic because he's starving himself. Starvation. Now his hormones may start going up high because of the stress, but it's gonna divert itself away from muscle building and then to try to keep you alive. That's the whole point. It's totally different.
Additional fat, down around the lower belly. Those abs aren't really showing. The love handles come in a little bit. I think I'd like to get down to 200, maybe 205, something like that, and still have like.
Yeah, I guess he got the arms that he wanted, 18-inch arms, sarcoplasmic arms, but he has no chest. He has no body, no chest, nothing. I don't know, whatever.
Defined six-pack. And so to do that, what my approach is, you don't have to do this. This is just how I operate. I'm not counting calories. I'm not tracking my macros. What I'm going to do is assess my diet and slowly make improvements to the worst thing. So it's been about 10 days, and the first thing that I changed was get rid of snacking after dinner. After dinner, I don't eat anything. That was the biggest issue that led to some of this additional fat gain that I didn't necessarily want, and I don't think actually fueled much additional growth, if any. I think it was unnecessary, and it was just a lack of discipline with diet, life, stress, other things, reaching for junk food. So after dinner, I would eat a whole bowl of popcorn or a bag of chips or whatever it may be.
A whole bag of popcorn, which are toxic, and a bag of chips, which are made in seed oils. Great. Probably even cottonseed oil. Here's another thing. All these fast food industries, they all are making their chicken and their french fries in seed oil. But I hear now they're probably using these really bad saturated fats like cotton oil, cottonseed oil. Man, that's just nasty. That stuff really destroy you. It's as bad as motor oil. So the seed oils, once you eat them, like in the chips and all, like what he just said, the whole junk food stuff, whatever he's eating, this fake food stuff, it's all junk food anyways. Who cares? So him eating it, the seed oils, they could last up to 2-3 years in your system. It takes up to 2 to 3 years for them to leave your system.
A whole bunch of peanut butter pretzels, things that I don't necessarily need to put into my body and just lead to additional calories and some additional fat storage. So looking at my diet from a holistic perspective, it was pretty clear that was the first thing I needed to go. Make a simple change, one change. For the first week, sustain that. All right, next week comes around. What else do I need to add in? I'm having like 1 beer a day on average, 1 to 2 beers a day.
Yeah.
There's a wedding, other things going on in summertime. That's probably too much. A lot of additional calories there. I'm going to ramp that back to 1 or 2 drinks a week. Once a week, I can have a drink or 2. And that's been the second change. Now, the next thing, my breakfast, going to the next week, which will be week 3, I'm having granola, mini wheats, which is a delicious cereal. I love it. Nuts. Some craisins, sometimes I break up a Cliff Bar. It's just a bit too hefty. There's a few too many calories there. So I'm going to change that.
Again, more fake food, more destruction, accelerated aging, toxins, okay.
Get rid of the mini wheats. Maybe just have granola with a little bit of
wheat's so gross, man. This food is really gross. It's just nasty.
fruit on it. and then see what happens. And then on the fourth week, I'll make an additional change. And I think this is a more sustainable way to change your diet. It's difficult, because I've been there too, where you kind of get dependent, it becomes a habit, and every night you kind of want to reach for some junk food, or at least that was the case for me. I don't think going...
He wants to reach for some junk food. Okay, it's all junk food you're eating, bro. If it's artificial, it's fake, it's junk food. It's all junk food.
On some crazy strict diet is necessarily the best way to go. At the end of the day, you got to find what works for you. But for me, I think it's been better when I try to lose weight or cut a little bit. I still believe I can build muscle, and I'm not going into the gym. I'm on a...
You can believe high that you're going to go to heaven, but that doesn't mean when you die you're going to go to heaven. Get it? You can believe in anything you want, but that doesn't mean it's true.
I'm in a calorie deficit. I can't train to build muscle. I don't believe that. I believe you can stimulate muscle growth.
You don't stimulate muscle growth. You damage muscles and then they grow. In an adaptation, dude.
Whether you're in a bulk or a...
Ask yourself this question: what happens when muscles are damaged? Right? We know that damage, and then we get growth. Right? How does it do that? Why? How does it adapt? How does muscles adapt to muscle damage? How do they adapt? By repairing and remodeling them what? Stronger, right? And now they're what? They're resilient from further what? Assaults of what? Muscle damage. It's like a castle. There's a wall, right? These people are attacking us. So the king decides to build a second wall. You understand me? To protect from any arrows or boulders or whatever hitting the secondary wall. You understand me? It's a protected. They have adapted. The kings and queens of the castle have adapted to these guys plummeting them with boulders and arrows and sticks and whatever by erecting a secondary wall. You understand me? That's what your muscles do.
Cut for most people. If you're at a normalish level of body fat and you're not down into the freaky, I'm getting on stage, I'm trying to be a physique competitor level. I think the rules, in my opinion, are a little bit different. I think
I honestly don't know why this guy's lifting. He's a pretty nice looking fellow. He's a handsome dude. His face is symmetrical. He has nice jawline. He's a pretty good looking dude, man. Some women would give him an 8. Damn, they'd give him, he's definitely an 8, bro. He can get women. He doesn't need to do this to get women. He's got a nice looking face and nice eyes. He's a handsome dude, and he's young still.
you can be in a slight surplus and still build muscle. And that's how I'm approaching it mentally. Whether I'm wrong or right, I don't know, but this is how I've approached my training journey.
He never really said why he wants to build muscle. What is the purpose? Why do you want to build muscle? Do you have a goal in mind? Is it just you want to look good or have big muscles? Like, what is it exactly? You want to be permanently stronger so you don't have to keep being a lifting slave in the gym? Is that why you're building muscle? I have no clue why. Maybe just because he keeps posing, he likes to look at himself in the mirror. Maybe he loves looking at himself, or maybe he wants guys gazing. He doesn't want girls maxing, girls gazing. He wants guy gazing, looking at his body. The girls will be looking at his face, but the guys will be looking at his body. It's just weird, man. I just don't get it. Okay, but whatever.
In general, and that my nutrition is there to support.
I don't know. I do pose on my channel just to show that what I'm getting, how far I've gotten. Really, personally, I don't lift like I did in the past. I had a goal in the past, and then I reached my goal, and then I quit. I reached my goal. I learned what builds muscles. I know how to build them. I know how to get over MND size limit. I know all these things. Me personally don't really care about any of this stuff anymore. I just don't care.
My recovery, and if I do workouts that stimulate growth, as long as I'm getting a reasonable, adequate amount of healthy whole foods in, I'm under the...
What are healthy whole foods he's getting in? They're all fake. They're toxic foods. And exercise is stressful. It's aging you. It's not healthy.
Belief that I can build muscle, and that's what's worked for me up to this point.
Labor jobs are unhealthy and slave diets are unhealthy. Really simple.
And what I would put to you is to entertain that as a concept that could potentially work for you, and you should try it out for yourself. Try it. If you're...
It's not going to work for anybody. You've tried it and it didn't work for you. It's not working for him. So how the hell it's going to work for all of you? And he's going to train you now too, because he had this thing in there in advertising. He's going to be your trainer. Give me a break.
You're stuck and you haven't been able to cut, or you haven't been able to build muscle. Try switching your mentality to go, I'm just going to focus on eating healthy whole foods. I'm not going to be protein obsessed. I'm going to put a...
Wow, he is so wrong. This is what all these lifters get. They all get it all wrong. They don't understand anything about lifting. Me personally, I don't want to promote lifting exercise on my channel. I'm not an exercise channel. But this guy has it all wrong. All wrong. It's not based on exercise.
Light emphasis on protein because I am lifting, and I'm going to eat healthy whole foods, and I'm going to direct any of that.
I'm going to eat protein. I'm going to eat healthy whole foods. Meat is whole foods. Animal products. What is he talking about? Plants?
Energy and think about it in a way where I need to progress my workouts. I need to go to every single session no matter what. I need to push my sets to the maximum no matter what. And I need to find a way to progress my training. I can't be afraid to try different things and push myself to do something harder, do something different, week by week, month by month. That's the thing that has stimulated growth for me, and diet and
It hasn't stimulated growth for you. You got your growth when you first entered the gym. You were untrained. That's a unique feature of untrained muscles. They get damaged.
nutrition. I like to keep it simple and just make small changes.
Trained muscles, they don't get damaged unless they don't get damaged, trained muscles. Now, if you're a trained athlete and you do something specific, an unaccustomed bout of something, you may get this damage, yes.
I want to reduce my body fat a little bit and just focus on eating healthy whole foods to support my training so that I can continue to build muscle. Hopefully that helps.
You're not. You're just wasting your time. He's just gonna slave himself to the gym and this obsession of building muscle forever, and he'd be like every other gym slave in there, natural gym slave. They never reach it. They're small. They never build any muscle. They're just wasting their time. And then they enslave themselves to lifting heavy weights. They don't understand the process of building muscle. It's a domain. It's based on a domain limit. And so then they take the secondary phase. They enslave themselves to lifting heavy weights through motor units, androgen receptors, and then they go, look how strong I can lift a heavy weight. And then they have to keep up with that all the time. Otherwise, if they leave the gym, that fake strength goes away. It's based on chemical strength.
And enlightens you some. You don't have to agree with me at the end of the day. It's just food for thought, no pun intended. If you want to do any of my workouts,
now he wants you to do. He failed, and he wants you to fail too. You're gonna fail with your buddy here, your 24,000 subscriber buddy here. You're all gonna fail along with him. Yeah.
I document, film, record all of my steps.
Look, the last couple videos I did, I went to the buffet and I lost a bunch of weight and I got ripped. I didn't go to the gym. I went to the gym to film myself in the mirror. I never even worked out. I've been working in at the buffet. That's why I have all these buffet videos of eating. That's how I created the look of my body. Get it? That's why I look so good. If I lifted, I would look terrible if I lifted weights and try to get ripped by working out in the gym. That's fucking stupid. That is just crazy. I'd have destroyed myself. No, man, I look better when I eat a shitload of whole foods at the buffet, fish and meat, and then pose in the mirror and I'm gonna look amazing. Get it? Because you're not building any muscle. If you're trying to lose body fat, you want to be on your natural food, so you go to homeostasis. Look, if you're out of homeostasis, to go back to homeostasis, you have to eat natural food, your natural food. This is just really funny, man. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next thing, and the next one, man. Look, if I missed something, comment down below. Tell me, I don't know. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Sometimes I forget. There's just too much stuff going on there. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends. This is crazy. This guy has slaved himself to this crap. It's ridiculous. And a lot of people are just like him out there. They've slaved themselves. It's just nuts. See you later.